Philip Montgomery is out. Enter Kevin Wilson for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. And this is the team that is going to be very, very interesting to watch in 2023 out of the American Athletic Conference. Look, to be frank, there are some very nice pieces coming back and coming in to this team, but they do need to fill some holes here as well. This is the team that I really could see hitting its floor or hitting its ceiling and doing anything else in between. This is one of the big mystery teams in the American Athletic this season. So will the Golden Hurricane immediately file into contenders under Kevin Wilson, or will this team need some time to adjust to their new head coach? What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome to my channel, preview and predicting all 133 FBS level college football teams, which means probably doing your favorite team. So hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when that video gets uploaded. But there are more ways than that you guys can help me support my channel. Anything that you can do is, anything you're willing and able to do is appreciated. Hey, you're supporting me right now by watching the video, aren't you? Well, you can do more by liking, commenting, sharing, and anything else that you can think of to help me support my channel, because whatever you guys, again, are willing and able to do, I would greatly appreciate. All right, Golden Hurricane football in 2023. Let's talk about it. Hey, how do we do things around here? We go through a roster overview and look at who the team lost, who's coming back, and who's coming in through the transfer portal and recruiting class, as well as taking a look at the 2023 Golden Hurricane football schedule, and we'll give it a game-by-game preview and prediction. So without further ado, I give you the Tulsa Golden Hurricane in 2023. To some people who just may watch the American Athletic here and there, the quarterback room may look a little bit different, but not to Golden Hurricane fans. Davis Brin, a longtime starter for this program, is gone. Had 2,138 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions last season. Again, throughout his Tulsa career, very, very good player. He will be missed by this team. But the new era is here. We got a glimpse of it last season. Braylon Braxton is a pretty solid player, if I do say so myself, and I think Golden Hurricane fans would agree with me there. 1,133 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions last season. He did have a worse completion percentage than Brin, did have almost 100 less passes, though. Definitely a smaller sample size, but I think we got a big enough sample size to see what he really is. And yeah, there may be some consistency things. I think he showed flashes of being a very, very good quarterback. I think that's what he'll be for Kevin Wilson, Steve Spurrier, the offensive coordinator, and company. I think that's going to be a very solid player at quarterback. I think he has the potential to be even great. So get to know Braylon Braxton. That's your new quarterback for the Golden Hurricane in 2023. In the running back room, your top 2 leading rushers from a season ago are gone. Deneric Prince and Steven Anderson. 729 yards, 5 touchdowns for Prince, and Anderson 852 yards and 6 touchdowns last season. 352 yards. I don't know what I said before, but I thought I would clarify. You do return Anthony Watkins, who did not play last year, but was the leading rusher, I do believe, for this team in 2021. Jordan Ford and Bill Jackson were your 3rd and 4th leading rushers last season, who both come back. And you get a transfer coming over from Oklahoma State, 3-star rated transfer, former 4-star coming out of high school. It is Braylon Presley. Should be a solid player in this running back room this season. May even take over that starting role from Anthony Watkins. When you take a look at the wide receiver position, yikes, you got some pretty big losses here. Your leading receiver and Keelan Stokes, who had 1,224 yards last season with 8 touchdowns, is gone. Juan Carlos Santana also gone, 859 yards and 7 touchdowns, as well as Isaiah Epps will be leaving that room. Good news, though, as your 3rd leading receiver in Malachi Jones does come back, 470 yards, 2 touchdowns. But then beyond that, definitely some room for guys to prove themselves. Nick Rempert, Marquis Shoulders, I believe, are higher up on the depth chart according to ourlads.com. But there's definitely some things to figure out in this Golden Hurricane wide receiver room. Malachi Jones, to me, is definitely that number 1, but more weapons are going to have to emerge in order for Braylon Braxton and this Tulsa team to be successful. In the tight end room, will Ethan Hall and Colby Powers both return to this team. And then on the offensive line, Dylan Wade is gone, but you return Will Fairnook, Chester Baugh, Bryce Bray, Jeremy Jones, Kaleon Herbert, and Ty Marks. This is a very experienced offensive line for Tulsa, and that's what Braylon Braxton needs there as well. So taking a look at the defensive side now, there is a substantial loss on the defensive line in Anthony Goodlow. I do believe he transferred over to Oklahoma, but he's a very talented defensive lineman, had 44 tackles, 2 sacks for the team last season. He's a very good player. He'll be missed by this Golden Hurricane team for sure. When you take a look at who's coming back, though, well, Joseph Anderson had 35 tackles, 3.5 sacks last season. Owen Ostrowski had 2.5 sacks, 23 tackles last season. Everett Rogers and Jaden Simon also return. And wouldn't you know it, some transfers do come into this team. Ben Kopensky and Zayed Hamdan, however you say that last name again, I apologize for mispronunciations anywhere, will be transferring into this program to give a boost to that defensive line. And the linebacking unit, leading tackler is gone. That is Justin Wright. He reached triple digits last year, had 101 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, 3 passes defended last season. John Michael Terry was the 4th leading tackler, second among linebackers, 85 tackles, sack and a half for him last season. And then Grant Sawyer is also going to be gone out of this linebacker room as well. Top 6 tackler for them, 45 tackles and a sack tacked on last season. Who does come back, though? Pretty much everyone else that is down the list, although you need to scroll for a while on the tackle leaderboard from last season before you find more linebackers. Dorian Hopkins, Mitchell Culkin, and Brian Johnson each had 15 tackles or less last season, but you also do get a transfer to help boost up the linebacker room. Former 4-star out of high school, coming over from USC, it's Julian Simon, should fit in nicely with this linebacking unit. And then in the defensive back room, Tyon Davis and Bryson Powers will be gone. Those are 2 top 5 tacklers last season. Powers almost reached triple digits, had 99 of them. And Davis had 12 passes defended, which led the team 2 interceptions as well. Pretty good player you're losing there. However, you also have another really good player who's coming back in Kendarian Ray. Had 86 tackles, 5 pass defended, and an interception last season. Tyree Carlisle, LJ Wallace, and Jays Oliver, some other names that'll be coming back, as well as some more transfers coming into the program. DeMarco Jones and Kenyon Williams, both coming over by way of Oklahoma State. Of course, as mentioned before, your head coach is Kevin Wilson, offensive coordinator Steve Spurrier, and your defensive coordinator is Chris Polizzi. As we take a look at the Golden Hurricane football schedule for 2023, any game at home will be underlined, and any game on the road will be in italics or that slanted text. Any game you see in green is a game I think the Golden Hurricane are going to win easily. Any game in yellow is a game where watch out for this one. Maybe they struggle. Maybe it's a close, competitive back-and-forth game, upset alert, whatever have you. But Tulsa's able to win, and red is a loss. So without further ado, predict Tulsa Golden Hurricane schedule in 2023. Should start out with a win Thursday night against the University of Arkansas Pines Bluff. That is a program from the FCS ranks, and it should be a win for Tulsa any way you cut it. But then you got 2 Power 5 programs coming up, and against this Washington defensive front, life is going to be hard for this Tulsa offense that's trying to break in some new pieces, trying to find some players at wide receiver to really step up. Now, with the experienced offensive line, may give Braylon Braxton some time there, but Washington's offense is simply too good. Michael Penix is a Heisman contender. He's got one of the best wide receiver rooms in the entire country. Washington is going to beat Tulsa, and so will Oklahoma based off of that offensive prowess. Dylan Gabriel has a lot of weapons around him. Now, if this Tulsa offense gives Washington's defensive front some fits, now that pass defense was atrocious last year for Washington, but if they give that front 7 some fits and they can tear up that secondary, Oklahoma's defense has got to watch out, because that's a defense that was not great last year, and while I think it improves, it hasn't really shown much in spring so far. So, with all that being said, we'll see how the Tulsa offense fares, but regardless, I still think they drop that game to Brent Venables' Oklahoma Sooners. And then you get a very interesting one to wrap up your non-conference slate. You got to go on the road and play Northern Illinois, and this is a team right here that I definitely think can be very competitive in the Mid-American Conference. They also got some very interesting non-conference games, and that's a team that, definitely can compete with Tulsa, and this is where kind of the unknown factor of Tulsa comes in. You don't really know what you're going to get at some certain positions, wide receiver being the main one, but I think Braylon Braxton is the difference. I think he's going to be able to make some throws. I think this Tulsa offensive line will be able to give him time, and I think even the Golden Hurricane defense going to be able to step up, slow down whatever Northern Illinois is going to be able to throw at him. Braylon Braxton, more importantly, though, makes a couple plays, and Tulsa going to be able to win that game. Then you got a game against Temple here at home. Probably going to end up being favored in this game, but I really like Temple this year. If you guys did not watch E.J. Warner last year, you should definitely tune in this year. He's a phenomenal talent at quarterback, one American Newcomer of the Year or Rookie of the Year, whatever that conference happens to call it. But he's a phenomenal talent. They got lots of returning options at or on the offensive end. And defensively, while that team has to improve, I think offensively they're going to be able to get through this Tulsa defense, and that'll be a win for the Temple Owls. And speaking of Owls, well, you get to move on to another set of Owls here when you face the FAU Owls. And that is going to be another very, very interesting game when you take a look at the grand scheme of things, as FAU is transferring in Casey Thompson. There's some pretty solid pieces in the wide receiver and running back position to help boost that team along. Defensively, I think they're pretty solid as well, but it is a team that may lack depth. It's a team whose ones and possibly the twos are going to be pretty good, but beyond that, maybe not a whole lot. Regardless, I still think they get the win against Tulsa. I think Casey Thompson, that wide receiver group, is going to be the difference. And defensively, I think that defensive line is going to be very good. I think it'll get through this Tulsa offensive line, create pressure for Braylon Braxton, and be able to beat the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. However, I do think Tulsa's going to get a rebound after their bye week. They'll be rested. They'll be ready to go for the game against Rice. Don't count out the Owls this year, though. What is it with all the Owls on the schedule? Huh? You got Temple, you got Florida Atlantic, and you got Rice all in a row. How convenient, huh? But anyway, speaking of Rice, JT Daniels transferring in. There's some great talent offensively. It's the defense that does it for me with Rice. I think that can be a pretty competitive team based on their offense alone, but defense is going to have to take a step in the right direction for me. I think Tulsa is going to be able to get that win. This one on the road, though, against SMU, that's going to be a tough one to win. SMU has got a lot of speed on that team, offensively and defensively as well. Now, they are replacing Tanner Mordecai at quarterback, but I think just on the speed factor alone, SMU has this game won. Many other reasons that they have that game won as well. Just think that they are the more talented team in this scenario, and going on the road for Tulsa, going to be hard, especially when it's against a team as talented as SMU. I think they beat Charlotte, though. Charlotte is a team, in my mind, that does not project well. I do not think they're going to be that great of a football team this season. In fact, I think they're going to be pretty bad. Maybe one of the worst in FBS this season. So I see Tulsa being able to win that one. But then you got a very tough game here going on the road to play Tulane. That's the favorite in the conference. Hey, they won the thing last year. Why shouldn't they be? And there are more reasons than just they won it last year. That defense was spectacular last season. It will be again this upcoming season. And when you go ahead and take a look at what Tulane has offensively as well, Michael Pratt's coming back, some good talent in running back and wide receiver, even though they're trying to replace some key pieces. That's a Tulane team I really, really like. That's a team that absolutely can get back to a New Year's Six bowl game, and a team that I think Tulsa is going to drop a game to. Then you got this game against North Texas right here, and I think Tulsa's going to be able to win this game. I do think there's going to be a game or two where North Texas trips up. Maybe it's a game they shouldn't lose, but it's a game I think they end up losing. This is one of them right here. That's a rushing attack that's probably going to be second to none in the American Athletic Conference. They got a lot of talented running backs in that room, but while they're breaking in a new quarterback, a transfer coming in, and a new head coach as well, I definitely think there are going to be the games where there are their struggles. I think Tulsa is going to be able to win this one off of physicality with their offensive line. Now, that's a very good offensive line with North Texas there too, so that's a very interesting matchup, but I went with the home team here, went with the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. But in order to clinch bowl eligibility, you're going to have to get through the East Carolina Pirates, and that's going to be a hard-nosed football team to play this year, even though they are replacing a whole bunch of talent offensively and some key pieces in the secondary there as well. That is an East Carolina team that I think will beat Tulsa, handing Tulsa the 5-7 record this year. Now, again, what did I say in my intro? This is a team that could absolutely hit its ceiling. It's a team that could hit its floor. I got to be honest, 5-7, 6-6 is right about where I see Tulsa this year, but I got no idea what to expect from the Golden Hurricane this year. I think if they can fill some holes, they can fill some gaps, this is going to be a really solid football team in the American Conference. I got them falling just short of bowl eligibility, but let me know what you guys think about the team in the comment section below. But as always, remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. See all you guys in the next video.